I am very, very drunk. So, as some of you may know, I live in Western Washington, and because I live in Western Washington, and specifically in South King County, just outside of the Auburn city limits, in an area called the Green River Valley, and at this very moment, it is national news that we have this thing called an atmospheric river that is over top of Washington state, and that is dumping a simply unprecedented quantity of rain onto the state that is known for abnormal quantities of rain. So, as you might guess, I have a water problem. And I've been fighting this water problem for 32 hours? It was a little after 10 o'clock on Wednesday that I started having to run the shop vac and the sump pump and the shop vac and the sump pump. And, okay, so 10 o'clock on Wednesday and 10 o'clock on Thursday, that's 24 hours. And it is currently a quarter after 5. So, 7 hours or 8? I have had way too much to drink. That's how I deal with jobs that I really don't enjoy, is I drink a lot. And 10 to 5 is 7, so 10 to midnight, that's 2. And midnight to 5, that's 5, and 2 plus 5 is 7. So 31 hours, around 31 hours, maybe a little less than 31 hours. Because I think it was about 10:35 that we had this issue. So I'm like 20 minutes short of 31 and a half hours, and about 50 minutes short of 32 hours. But when you gotta go vacuum the water out of your space every hour and a half, you don't really get to sleep. On top of which, why did it have to happen the day that the GTA Online Mansions DLC came out? I was gonna have so much fun. I was gonna play all of the new missions. And I got to play like 3 of them, I think. Maybe 4. I don't know. I know I did the first one and the second one, and then I did at least one more. I don't really remember it. But regardless, I've been drinking. And needless to say, I'm going to drink some more. Oh, yeah. Oh, very much, yeah. So, everything that I've been doing the past couple of days is just theoretical. I was going to jump in and do, I was going to get my sound configuration done and start adding sound effects to the game, but no, the place fucking flooded, so I'm doing that shit. So instead I got to thinking about, mostly about Death Stranding. Death Stranding is the first game in a long time. Is it a long time? Yeah, it's the first game in a long time that I would go to bed thinking about it, and I would get up in the morning thinking. And over the course of the day, as I was doing whatever other shit I needed to do, that I couldn't be playing video games right now because I got shit to do. Death Stranding was the game that I was like, when I can play video games, I'm going to play Death Stranding, and I'm going to do this and that and the other. It was really captivating and it was really good and I really enjoyed it. And then I got to the boss battle with Higgs and I said, fuck this game. And I uninstalled it. And I'm not going back to it. Because I think I've gotten all that I can get out of the game, first of all. And it's done a thing to me that I really, really dislike. Now, historically, I have disliked Hideo Kojima's games because of the cutscenes. There's too many cutscenes. I've spoken about this before. There are people who do so many cutscenes in their game. It's like they wanted to be a director and make films, but they couldn't for some reason or other, and now they make fucking cutscenes. But in Death Stranding, the cutscenes were not bad. And what I mean by this is the storyline was good. The cutscenes in Death Stranding were something I wanted to watch. Were they too long? Yes. Was it fucking dumb to put name actors in them? I would say yes, but at the same time, it's, I find it really impressive that they put Lindsay Wagner in the cast, and I think she did an absolutely amazing job. Norman Reedus does an amazing job, but I think the name recognition matters for him. You could, if I start talking about Margaret Qualley, you will not be able to get me to shut up. But the actors in this game do an absolutely incredible job. And Kojima has selected precisely the right actors to do precisely right things. He's done such a fit. He's been an amazing director. And I feel like that's the difference with Death Stranding. The difference with Death Stranding is you don't feel like the person who did the cutscenes is a frustrated director who can't make a movie. You feel like the person who made these cutscenes is an accomplished director who has probably made several movies. And it shows in how well the cutscenes are done and how well the story is written. And the name actors, yeah, but they're so fucking good. They do such a good job. The line readings and the acting and the motion capture, it's just amazing. Now, I don't think the average studio can do this. I don't think the average studio can pull that off. I think CD Projekt Red constantly tries, and they do a shit job. And this is really well exemplified by Cyberpunk 2077. In particular, that initial cutscene, well, not initial cutscene, you've got other cutscenes before this, but the cutscene where you're in the car with Dex. I want to say it's 30 to 45 seconds, but thinking about how long 30 to 45 seconds is, I don't think that's accurate. It's probably more like 10 to 15, and it might even be between 5 and 10, but there's a period of time that Dex is staring out the window, and you are staring at Dex. Neither of you is saying anything. And the purpose of this moment within that cutscene is for you to go, not for you to belch, but for you to look at the cutscene and say, man, they did such an incredible job simulating the way that smoke curls and wafts off the cigar. Wow! The rendering of the metal on that arm is incredible. And it's perfect. The way it animates is excellent. They've done such a good job on this cutscene. If you're not playing a game, none of that fucking matters. There are plenty of moments in Death Stranding where you look at it and you go, holy shit, the hair. They've done such an amazing job on the hair. Look, oh my God, the stubble on Higgs. It's like you can tell, you look at it, you know it's not a photo, but it's as detailed as one. It's so good. They've done such an amazing job. And the game's full of that. The game's full of looking at the cutscenes and going, holy shit! But at no point does the game pause and go, holy shit, right? Right? Am I right? Holy shit, smoke, right? Holy shit, metal, right? Holy shit, animation. Am I right? Am I right? Holy shit, right? Death Stranding doesn't try to make you go holy shit. They just let you go holy shit. At no point, they never linger too long on a shot. They never just like focus in on something and go, am I right? You see that? See, do you know how hard we worked on it? Do you know how good we had to be to make this happen? Cyberpunk does that every fucking time you turn around. And then as soon as you're out of the cutscene, it didn't work very hard at all. They didn't even really try on a lot of shit. It's just garbage. It's not even hot garbage. It's literally refrigerated garbage, how fucked up it is. You're driving a car down the street and you run into the guardrail and you bounce. There's no sense of weight to your vehicle. There's no sense of substance to the guardrail you ran into. It doesn't display any evidence that you've run into it. You just kind of boom. And then you play GTA and you're screaming down the street and you try to pass somebody and you miss and you run into the guardrail and the guardrail deforms. Your car deforms, it pops up in the air, and you feel the impact. It just, you have the sense that you've run into something. Cyberpunk never has that. And I will grant you that CD Projekt Red has never done a game with cars before. I will grant you that. I will say, yeah, they've never done it before, but at the same time, they have the fucking money to hire somebody who knows how to make a driving game. But they didn't. I could go on at such length about what went wrong at CD Projekt Red for Cyberpunk 2077, and I'm really mad about it, because I'm an old school Cyberpunk guy. I have like the original Cyberpunk rulebook from 1981. I waited 40 years for a Cyberpunk role-playing game. I very much appreciate that they did release Cyberpunk in 2020, toward the end of 2020, after multiple delays, but I very much appreciate that they hit that deadline because they had to. And I feel like a lot of developers at CD Projekt Red, knowing that the game absolutely had to go out in 2020, I think they fucked around and didn't do their fucking job because they knew the deadline was immutable. If they could push off as much of their work as possible until the last moment, they would need to do the minimal work possible because the game had to come out in 2020. The job had to be finished in 2020. Whatever, as far as they could push it, as long as they could push their work off, there was no work. And then when it got time to it, they would only have to do as much work as they could get done by 2020. I do not blame the shareholders and investors and managers, well, kind of managers. I don't blame them for the failures. I kind of do in the I'm a project manager, okay? I know what it is to manage a project, and I know how you manage a project, but I want to be clear. The people who fucked up here are the developers. The developers fucked up, and they fucked up on purpose because they thought they could get away with it. They deliberately didn't do their fucking work because they thought, if I can push it off to the deadline, I won't have to do it. That's why we got a shit project. That's why we got the release that we got. That's why we got the absolute fucking dog shit that it was. Because the developers suck. That said, it is the project manager's job to know that their developers sucked and to do something about it before it was critical. And they didn't. I think that's a lesson that CD Projekt Red had never learned before. I think because CD Projekt Red had previously done The Witcher, which was done when it was done, and The Witcher 2, which was done when it was done, and The Witcher 3, which was done when it was done, I think when they did those three games, they were just like, yeah, we could put it off. The deadline can be slipped. It's no problem. We got as much time as we need. We can get the shit done. And they're struggling, and they're fighting, and they're trying to get their position in the market. And then Witcher 3 was so fucking popular. And the DLC for it, Blood and Wine, or whatever the fuck it was so fucking popular. And they're like, we're on top of the world. That is when everything goes wrong. And that is when everything went wrong. And that's why we ended up with the game that we ended up with, because the project managers for CD Projekt Red did not know how to manage a team that thinks they have nothing to prove. Very different from managing a team that is hungry and needs to show the world what they can do. I need to prove that I'm good enough is one incentive, and I need to prove that I'm the best is another incentive. I need to prove I'm good enough is a stronger incentive. The whole thing was Cyberpunk 2077. The whole thing that went wrong there, the whole thing that went wrong in the project management was they were on top of the world. they had shipped one of the most popular games ever, which is dog shit. I'm sorry, but Witcher 3 is dog shit. They had shipped this incredibly popular game that a tremendous number of people love and enjoy playing. It's garbage, but they have shipped this very popular thing, and now they have this incredibly popular IP, and none of the people involved in it feel like their contribution is really going to matter. Which one of you is going to make Cyberpunk feel more cyberpunk? The decisions made by producers are incredible. Cyberpunk makes Night City feel real in a way that not only no other game has, but no other game could. As you walk through Night City, you hear random NPCs speaking a half dozen different languages and having all of these different conversations. And it just, when it comes to the feel of the city, it's amazing. They've done the greatest job of bringing Night City to the PC, and even the fringes, the outskirts. They did such a great job on that. The problem is they crunched it. They scrunched it in so far that, like, you walk for 5 minutes and you're out of the city. You walk 5 minutes more, you're out in the middle of fucking nowhere. You know, I understand that the true scale of Night City is not conducive to an open world environment. But they crunched it in so much. Like, there's no point in driving anywhere. You can walk. And the rocker boy is key to the cyberpunk milieu. There isn't one. There's just their flavor text, their background characters. Johnny Silverhand is a rocker boy. But you don't really get to be Johnny Silverhand and use your rocker boy abilities. Everything solos and netrunners. That's all there is. Solos and netrunners. Those are the only classes. It's like in Skyrim. There's the melee berserker Nord, and there's the stealth archer anything. That's it. Those are the two classes. Melee berserker Nord and stealth archer. I have had so much to drink. I gotta go pee. I will be right back. You know, I was trying to talk about Death Stranding, and I have ended up talking a lot about Cyberpunk, but it's by way of comparison, because Death Stranding does everything right that Cyberpunk did wrong. First of all, it has a storyline that actually fucking matters and you actually care what's going on. And it has better acting. Although, you know, I don't think name actors are really necessary. I'm glad Death Stranding has them, like particularly Margaret Qualley. I could sing the praises of Margaret Qualley forever. as I can with Mia Goth, and as I can with several other actors and actresses. But that's a much larger topic that I don't want to talk about right now, and we'll probably never talk about on video. Ask me about it on Blue Sky. We'll talk about it at length. But or join the Discord, which is basically dead. Like, I don't know why anybody still joins the Discord. I'm glad you do, but people keep joining the Discord and then they never talk in the Discord. They only ever DM me, if anything. We recently had somebody named Darcy join the Discord, and they have said absolutely nothing to me or anyone since joining. Although they are popping up on the activity feed playing Femboy Fuda House. So clearly there's somebody I would enjoy talking to. I love gin and rum. They're wonderful. Anyway, Death Stranding has a story that I care about, and watching the cutscenes allows me to learn more about the story, and it does such a great job. They're good. It's good direction, and it's good acting, and it's good writing. Everything about it is good. And I wonder how much of that is because Hideo Kojima is so fucking famous. Like, if I were to go out and hire a writer, I would probably get a shitty writer. And if I were to go out and hire a director, I would probably get a shitty director. If I were to go out and hire actors, I would probably get shitty actors. And you know why? Because I'm fucking broke. And I would not be able to pay for people that are good at what they do, or that know they're good at what they do. I trade in influence. Now, I'll tell you something. I don't think you need name actors to make your cutscenes good. I think what you need is, I don't care what region you live in, I don't care what area you're in, okay? You have a community theater group in your area. And in that community theater group, there is somebody who is fucking incredible. There's always, every community theater group I've ever been in, there's somebody who can play any role and be any person, and everybody in the group knows who it is. If you just hook up with your local community theater group and meet one person that's in it and ask them, say, hey, who's that person that could just play any fucking role? They're like, you gotta hand them any role and they'd fucking kill it. They'd be like, oh, that's Dave. That's definitely Dave. Dave could do that. Dave will play anything. And then if you go and you talk to Dave and you're like, hey, Dave, do you want to come and do some stuff for my game? He'd be like, me? You want me to do stuff for your game? And then you go, yeah, what are your rates? You'd be like, I get paid? You would pay me? There's a guy like that everywhere in community theater. Okay? And it just guaranteed. As you might guess, I used to be that guy once upon a time. You don't have the name Caliban for no reason. Okay? It's just that doesn't happen. But there's always that one guy that everybody goes, that guy, he can play any role, he can be anything. And you go and you talk to me, you go, hey, how much would it cost for you to come and do the thing? And he's just like, pay? You're gonna pay me? It used to be me. There's always somebody though, okay? I was always the guy that people would go, that guy can play any role, and I was always the guy who went, I can't play any role. I really can't. I can't play any role. There are lots of roles I can't play, as in I'm not happy with my performance. But as far as a game developer being happy with the performance, yeah. The older you get, the more you look back at all the opportunities that you wish you'd had. I was a good actor. I was a good performer. And nobody ever cared. The people that I performed with were like, man, you're so good. The people that directed me, my stage managers, prop managers, writers, God, you're so good. None of them ever got anywhere or made any connections that they could talk to anybody who mattered and say, you know, there's this guy I met who's so good. But at the same time, I was working at a construction site. I was just sweeping shit up, and somebody said, you know, I got offered this contract to do this work in an office building, but they need somebody to run network cable, and I don't have anybody to run network cable. And I said, I run network cable. I know how to run network cable. Are we talking 10 base T or 10 base 2? Ooh, you know more than I do. Please come help me run network cable. And I went and ran network cable for the guy. And then there was a moment where I had to have the conversation with the client. And the client was just like, I need you to run the cable here. I can't run that cable here. I got to run plenum cable there. This is interior cable. That is an exterior wall. We got to run plenum cable along an exterior wall, because otherwise this cable right here, if there's a fire, this cable is like a fuse. It will burn, and it will lead the fire straight up to the upper floors. That is exactly what we have fire breaks for, and I can't do that. We got to do plenum cable. And being the only guy on the crew who knew that got me another job working for a different company, and another job working for a different company. And then I was working for that company, and they said, you know, there's this guy who's looking for a network administrator, but you'd have to know, like, how to run Windows NT. I know how to run Windows NT. Are we talking Windows NT 3.0 or 3.1? And eventually I got a job as a network administrator. And as a network administrator, I ran into the problem. I'm going to let y'all in on a secret. The fact of the matter is that I was raised in Virginia. And because I was raised in Virginia, I got this accent. And the accent's still there, and I can still let it out. It is still a thing that still happens. But when I was working as a network administrator, I recognized that that my career progression was being unduly influenced by this accent. So I went and I opened it. We had a conversation. We were out in the smoking area one day, and I'm talking to all my friends. We all got the same fucking accent. And they're like, nobody's ever going to take us seriously. You got this accent. You sound like fucking Stump Jumping Jethro over here. And we were talking about how we were never going to get anywhere with this accent. Because Virginia. And we went back in, and I pulled out, to give you an idea how long ago this was, I pulled out the Yellow Pages. I pulled out the Yellow Pages, and I opened it up, and I found myself a speech therapist. I called him up, and I said, hey, do you have an appointment available sometime next week? And I made an appointment. I went in there. The first appointment was free. And I went in, and I talked to him, and he said, yeah, we can work on this accent of yours. We just gotta, there's the big check. You got to write a big check. And I said, no fucking problem. And I wrote him a big check. And now I don't have that accent anymore. I still have it, like, in the pocket. But I don't have it anymore. Because I went to a speech therapist. And he sent me to a vocal coach. And that is the difference, I think, between the modern generation and the older generations. I recognize that there was an unfairness, that there was a privilege to people who spoke in a certain way, who spoke with a mid-Atlantic accent. And people like me who spoke with a southern accent, who spoke with that kind of middle Virginia accent. We ain't get that. We ain't get the privilege of having a generally intelligible accent that ain't make us sound like fucking dumbasses. So I got the speech therapy, and I got the vocal coaching, and I got rid of the accent, and my career took the fuck off. And everybody that I worked with, all of the people in the network administration area, they were like, well, you sold out, man. Yes, I did. And I got fucking paid. That's why you sell out, because you get fucking paid. I've told that story so many times. And it's never when I expect to tell it. And you know, I think the reason I tell that story so many times is because I am fundamentally offended that I needed to change my accent. I don't think that was necessary. And I think it was wrong to make me do it. I think it was wrong that it got me anywhere. I think that my abilities should have gotten me where I was going. I love my accent. I really do. I think there's a music to it. I think there's a poetry to the Southern accent, especially the Virginia Southern accent, which is a very different thing from like if you want to drop back to a Mississippi Southern accent, which is a little bit more laid back. I like that sharp edge Virginia accent. I like that. Now I do like the New Orleans accent. I like to drop it back to Louisiana. Louisiana got a bit of an edge. Not so much as Mississippi. It's got that drawl. I miss the Confederate flag. I miss it because to me that flag always meant you can't tell me what to do. You can't make me do what you want me to do. The problem is, of course, that you can't make me do what you want me to do for the Confederates meant you can't make me treat these human beings as equal to those human beings. Well, that's not okay. Can't do that shit. That's not okay. I'm getting way off the topic. You can see what really matters to me as a person. That's I think a lot of people miss that in terms of drinking and drunkenness and intoxication just in general. It's like the thing about alcohol is alcohol pulls the curtain back on who you are as a human being. And fundamentally, I love the Confederate flag, meaning you can't tell me what to do. But I sure as shit do not love the part where it says, you can't tell me to treat these human beings like human beings. There's a tipping point somewhere. There's a tipping point somewhere that that the rebel flag became the racist flag. It was always the racist flag, but there was a period of time when you could call it the rebel flag and people were like, yeah, rebels are cool, yeah, sure. Who doesn't want to be a rebel? And then at some point it became the racist flag. Oh no, nobody wants to be a no. Racism is not cool, man. That's not okay at all. I'm not happy about that. But on some level, the Dukes of Hazzard was just way too influential to me. Like it shouldn't have been. I shouldn't consider the Dukes of Hazzard so fucking essential to my personality. Yeah, just two good old boys, never mean or no harm. And they weren't racist. They really weren't. You could tell from Cooter. Cooter was never a racist. The Duke boys were never racist. They had that flag. Then, of course, there was Roscoe P. Coltrane. I have no idea what I started out talking about. Fuck it. I don't care. No, wait. I am supposed to keep it on topic. I am supposed to keep it on topic. The problem with Death Stranding's boss fight is that they made me do some stupid shit. They made me go into the boss fight with no weapons and no healing items. And here's the thing. I recognize, objectively, looking at it from the outside, I recognize that you are supposed to deal with Higgs the same way you deal with mules on turrets. That's the thing. You're supposed to approach. He's firing at you with an assault rifle, and you're supposed to go up and beat the shit out of him. Just like a mule on a turret. Then he'll teleport. It's just like a different mule on a different turret. Happens over and over again. Okay? And I've beaten him 3 times, so I think you have to beat him 5. It's bullshit either way. Fuck that shit. I rage quit the game. But you're supposed to deal with them the same way you do with mules on turrets. You want to know how I deal with mules on turrets? I ram my truck into them. Because when you ram your truck into a turret, the mule on the turret is forced to stop using the turret. He gets thrown to the side. And the turret becomes unusable. That's my solution to the turret problem. And now they're expecting me to deal with it differently? Anthony? Nice day. I don't know how else to deal with that. I just run into him with a truck. I've never used any other mechanism. Is there another mechanism? There probably is, but this is probably the wrong time to learn how to do it. Hey, do you know what causes hangovers? Dehydration. Drink some fucking water. I don't know that this will help because of the sheer fucking quantity of alcohol I've consumed, but I had a beer, I had 2 rum and cokes, and I had the darktini just now. That's a fucking lot. That's, if you think in terms of shots, that is 3, 6. That's about 12 shots of liquor and a beer, and it's a stiff. You know, really, the alcohol content of Jubal Ale is closer to wine than to beer. So, figure 3 glasses of wine and 12 shots. That's 15 drinks. That's a lot. Since when? Oh, I don't fucking know. It's been 46 minutes so far, but I don't know. I don't know how long it's been. I don't fucking care. How's the water level out there? It's not that bad. I can keep recording. I'm so tired of this fucking flooding. I really am. I really am. I'm so fucking tired. I want the flooding to be over. I want to not have to do all of this fucking work with the vacuum and the pump and all of that shit. I want to grind money in GTA Online so I can buy more mansions. Why do I even want more mansions? Like, what good does it do to have more than one mansion? Does it do any good? It's like bragging rights to other people. I don't play with other people. I always do invite only. Like, why would I fucking bother? Why do I fucking bother? Why do I even have anything in GTA Online? I got cars I never fucking drive. I sold my Brake, my BR8, the open wheel racer, because fuck it, I don't give a shit, for like 1.7 million. And then I sold my Banshee RTS or some such shit for 700,000, and I was just like, man, that's like 2.4 million. I wonder how much I could sell my other shit for. And every other car I took in, I was like, how much are you give me for this? They're like, 200,000. Really? Yeah, 200,000 for that one. How about this one? 300,000. This is a $4 million car. It's 300,000 if you sell it. Yeah, fuck you. I can make 300,000 in my sleep. Seriously, like every 48 minutes, I make about just short of 100,000. I make over 95,000, and I think just short of 100,000 every 48 minutes just for showing up. All I got to do is go collect it every 3 hours. It just happens. And then if I make a delivery, it's like another 400,000. So It's like if I just play GTA online for 8 hours, I make like $1.5 million just for showing up. See, showing up is the important thing. It's not a big deal. So, like, if I do that for 7 weeks, then I make $50 million. Just showing up, not actually doing anything, just going around and collecting crap out of my safes. That's it. But if I really crank it up, if I really put my feet to the fire, then I can make probably $3 million a day. In a full-time day of playing Grand Theft Auto Online, I can probably do the Cayo Perico heist and the VIP mission at the agency and the Cluck and Bell missions. That's $2.5 million just there, and just spending the time. Another $500,000 would pile up in my businesses. So, like, yeah, $3 million in a day if I really put the pedal to the metal on it. Grand Theft Auto really has a lot of the issues that I see Death Stranding having. But I have to go pee. So I'm going to pause for a minute. I have no idea what I was talking about just now. Literally, I can't remember. I was trying to talk about the differences in different kind of games. I was trying to talk about, there's a concept I wanted to talk about called diegetic agency. Diegetic agency is when you have the options that are legitimately available to you according to the storyline. So, like, in Grand Theft Auto 3, when you do the bomb to base mission, and 8-Ball needs to go and get on the ship, and he's the one who can sneak onto the ship. So you have to use a sniper rifle from a distance to snipe the guards on the ship. The reason you can't do whatever else you might think of to do is because 8-Ball won't let you. It's part of the storyline that this character is going, no, you can't do that, fuck off, go over there and use a sniper rifle. And I think that's why when GTA tells me you have to snipe the guards with a sniper rifle from this distance while this guy's planting the bombs, I think that's why this is okay, while Hideo Kojima saying, you're not going to take any weapons with you when you go to fight the final boss. That's not okay. Because given the restrictions I probably would use a sniper rifle to snipe the guards. But I cannot imagine a world where I'm headed for the final boss battle equals I'm not going to take any weapons. That's just stupid. Why would you do that? I don't want to do that. That doesn't make any sense. I'm no fun to watch. I am absolutely not somebody that anybody wants to watch talk about anything. Well, that's okay. I'm in a transformative process where I'm becoming somebody that people want to watch. I mean, am I? Or am I just like recording myself in the vain hope that being recorded makes me worth watching? Is that who I am? Somebody you watch because they bothered to record themselves and not because they have anything worth saying? Do I have anything worth saying? I feel like it's worth asking the question. I feel like it's valuable to be on camera asking the question and going, do I matter? Should people watch me? Am I somebody that people actually give a shit about? And I think the answer is no. In Vino Veritas. Sequamese. Would I watch this? When I watch this video, do I care about what this video has to say? That's a tough question. I think I would. I think I'm fucking weird, okay? So it's okay if I'm not describing you. I think if I were watching a video and somebody just kind of stalled in the middle of it and said, who the fuck is watching this? I think I would find that compelling. I think that would focus my attention on it and lead me to subscribe and to pay more attention and to go, who is this dude? What? Like, Why is this guy just openly wondering if he's worth watching on his video? It would be very important as I was looking into this. It would be critically important whether he means it. Does he really wonder what the fuck value he's producing? Or is he just talking shit? Is he just like, is he just trying to attract the kind of people? I mean, that's really the thing. The modern world presents us over and over again with people go, hey, why am I doing this shit? Because they want to attract people who are saying, why am I doing this shit? I'm so fucking drunk, my eyes don't focus. I have notes, like literally over here. I have notes. I can't focus on them. I can't read these. I don't actually know what those say. I'm so fucking drunk, my eyes won't fucking focus. There's a friend of mine, Jason Moffat, who wrote a report way back in like 2016, 2017 called the True Serum Report. And he said, if you want to know what somebody stands for, if you really want to know what they're about, talk to them at a bar and see what happens as they have more and more to drink. Because his point was that as people have more to drink, they get more honest. They get more upfront about what it is they're doing. If you talk to them about, if somebody's like offering you a real estate deal, and you take them out for a drink, after a couple of drinks, they're going to tell you that, you know, this real estate deal, it's a great investment, blah, blah, blah. And after a couple of more drinks, they're going to go, you know, the real key is to sell the real estate before people realize what's fucked up about it. And then you get them a couple of more drinks and they go, you know, if I can just get you to buy this bullshit real estate, then you can turn around and sell it to somebody else. So, you know, we're in the same boat, you and me. I gotta sell this bullshit real estate, and once you buy this bullshit real estate, you gotta sell this bullshit real estate. So we're really in the same business, and all you're doing is like, you're just finding the other person. So, like, we'll split the money. You buy the bullshit property from me for $30,000, and then you can sell it to somebody else for $80,000, and then that'll pay my $30,000, and you get $50,000 for yourself. Isn't that fucking great? Well, Jason was completely right that this is a great way to catch scammers. I have found it useful in all kinds of other ways. One of the ways I found it useful is I get outrageously fucking drunk at events and on streams and around partners because I'm shockingly honest. So, like, if I tell you what my secret hidden game plan is, it's exactly your secret hidden game plan. I got this thing I've been building called Badass College. It's not out yet. It's not going to be out for years. But, the purpose of selling you the instructional material in Badass College is that you will get really, really good at the shit that you're doing, and you'll turn around and say, I'm really good at the shit I'm doing because of that. Now, stochastically, that's true. If I try to promote my shit to anybody and everybody, if I just like blanket the world with my shit, the way that, oh, what's his name? God, who's that dude? I want to remember his name. I know he's like a loser, but who's that guy with the fucking AI autocorrect? God, stop it! Get out of my fucking God. Who's that guy with the supercars selling get rich advice? No, the AI summary says it's Daniel Mack. And I think that's exactly the opposite of what I'm talking about. Who's that guy with the supercars? Who's that guy selling how to get rich? Who is that guy who was... Who's that guy who was selling get rich advice in 2018? I know some names. I'm looking for a specific guy. No, Mark Cuban? No, what the fuck? God, it's hard to find this guy. Ty Lopez! That's his name! That's his name. And the query was, who's that guy who was selling get-rich advice in 2016 from his garage? It's Ty Lopez. Ty Lopez standing in his garage in front of a Lamborghini and urging visitors to visit his, oh, how did they put it? To visit his self-improvement website. I thought it said to visit his self-important website. Same fucking thing. Ty Lopez. Yeah, I don't know Ty Lopez. I know people who know Ty Lopez. I know Ty Lopez doesn't actually own the stuff that he showed you in his fucking videos. But it's like, there are two things that need to go together to be tremendously successful. And the first thing is, you need to know to accept the opportunity. And the second thing is, you need to have the opportunity. back in 2010, 2011, something like that, a guy offered me an opportunity to write some code for him and to split the revenue 50-50. And I told him, number one, I have sworn off writing code until 2014. And number two, don't give back-end profits to your programmer. So not only did I cost me tens of millions of dollars, I cost another programmer tens of millions of dollars. Because I told him, offer a flat rate for the job. If you tell a developer you'll give him half of the money, he won't take the job. I won't take the job no matter what, but the next developer you talk to, offer him $80,000. Number one, you will absolutely 100% get it if he does the job. Number two, he will be tremendously happy being offered $80,000. Number three, you're going to make so much fucking money. The guy I told that to made about $50 million 6 months later. He wanted to split that with me. He wanted to split that with whatever programmer worked with him. He didn't. He hired a programmer for $100 and some odd $1,000. He made an offer. The guy made a counter offer, and he made an offer. He said, "Okay, that's cool." And yeah. Regrets? Do I wish I had taken the bunch of money this guy was offering me? No. I wish I had the bunch of money this guy offered me. I don't wish I had taken his offer. Fundamentally, basically, at the core of it, the amount of money isn't what's important. Everybody else thinks it's what's important, but I mean, really what it comes down to is the number of people that think you can compromise your principles for money. You can violate what you believe in for money. It's not very satisfying to say no to that. But it's important if you value your integrity. It's important if you care about who you are as a person. Don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal. I'm very drunk. I don't think anybody cares about that anymore. I see so many people who don't care about that. But it's important. It's very important. Please remember how important it is.